Oh my god, welcome back to the channel. It's 39 degrees out and I'm freezing. I have all this crochet stuff and I'm not wearing any of it. Oh, what am I, crazy? Yeah, anyway. Tootsie's got her sweater on. She's loving this weather. I tell you, this is her favorite time of the year. She was chasing Stitch around the house yesterday. It was pretty cute. I don't know how, well, I can't cut the long short. The dogs will be outside. Is that the cat? There she goes. There it is. There's the animal. Is he coming? He's coming. Hey, got a good show for you to stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's Crafting Journey. Welcome to another edition of Crafting and Crime Daily. I'm also known as that Journey Chick over on Instagram and the Leftovers on my other YouTube channel. The link to that is down in the description. Don't forget to hit the like button today on your way in or out of the video. Yeah, the like button actually made the coffee this morning, and it is delicious and it's keeping me warm. So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Also consider sharing this with someone, and you don't want to forget the notification bell so you know when I have another video posted. I've been trying to go upload these every day around noonish, but you know, you never know. Especially the Leftover channel. You certainly never know what I'm going to post over there, but I think I'll have a video up today. The amount of stuff that I came back with from this past week's trip was tremendous. I got a few things listed yesterday. I listed all the shoes on Sunday. So yesterday I had a lot of stuff I had to box up and get shipped. So I'm going to do this video, run to the post office, and then I've got more stuff to get listed. I mean, I've got tons of stuff to list, and then I want to start listing the Christmas stuff towards the end of the month. I think I'll get the Christmas stuff listed. But so you guys were like, hey, don't put that sweater on the cat, you know, and clearly the cat was not thrilled with the sweater idea. So I had another idea. I'll make the cats a bed. So I'm making a cat bed. Yeah. In this gorgeous, it's a 6-weight color. It's beautiful. And it feels good. So I think they'll enjoy that. So that's what I'm working on today while I chit chat with you. If you know how to single crochet, you could do this pattern. It's that easy, honest to God. Oh, so last night I was doing this, and I'm watching this really crazy show on Netflix called The Watchers, and it's based on a true story, but they have really deviated from the true story at this point. It's a series, a limited series. I'm enjoying it, but it's really far-fetched. Yeah, but I do know what the true story was, and this family was getting these strange letters about what, you know, this guy called himself the Watcher, and I don't think they ever figured out who was sending these letters. But of course, in the drama, you know, there's lots of suspects, and yeah, every time you think you've got it figured out, you're like, oh, yeah, then something else happens. So it's a pretty good show. So that's what I was doing last night while I was working on the cat bed. So I finished the bottom part. Now I'm working on the walls of the cat bed. I don't know if they like the color yellow. I don't really care, but it's just something to. I'm going to put it on the top of the cat tower, I think, or maybe in their little basket that they like to lay in. Well, they used to like to lay in it, not much anymore. So today is National Cupcake Day, Chocolate Cupcake Day. Yes, yum. Yeah. Am I going to make chocolate cupcakes? No. I could, today's not a bad day to have the oven on because, I could. I got to find a recipe, and maybe then I have to see if I have the ingredients and, but I could. I love to bake. It's a time thing. I've got so much. I never thought being fun employed I would be this busy. Honest to God. I stay busy from morning till night. I just doing stuff, business related or, playing my games that I enjoy or crafting. And today, oh my God, do you know what happened this day in history? Let me think how many years ago. It was 1980. So that's 42 years ago today. I gave birth to my firstborn. Yep, Ryan. He's 42 years old today. And I believe he's at work. I don't know if he's doing anything for his birthday. And I got him a little gift. Not nothing big. He's got everything he could ever want. That he's living his best life. He really is. He's married. He's got the 3 kids. Oh my God, 3 kids. What am I saying? 3 kids. Kyle, Kaleo, and Malia. You guys know Malia. You guys have met Malia. Kyle is getting ready to go in the military, and he's all signed up, and he's done everything he has to do. They're just waiting for a class to form based on the career that he has chosen, which is something in the medical field. I'm not sure what. But I'm kind of proud of him. And then the Cleo, who did go in the military and then decided against it after he got in, he's full-time in college now. So I'm proud of him there too. Sometimes you have to really search for this second stitch here. This is a weird pattern that I'm doing. Like I skip a stitch and then I single crochet into the next stitch, and then I go back and single crochet into the stitch that I just skipped. So it kind of like crosses over, but it creates this nice thick wall, which is nice. Did I say it's nice? Yeah. Crazy. So let's talk about crafting and crime for a little bit. We got 2 trials going on. The George Wagner trial. George is on trial for the murder of 8 members of the Roden family. And this trial is moving slow as molasses. So yesterday they were playing wiretap recordings of both the phones and the vehicle of that was owned by the Wagners. So here's what happens. They're on their way back from a trip to Alaska. This was a month or so after the murders. And by now, the police have kind of figured out that these are the suspects. So they're stopped at a border crossing in Montana, and they're questioned, and there's a laptop that is confiscated for investigative purposes. And then also, what happened here? Oh my word. While they're stopped and questioned, the police go out. They think they're being clever. They go out and they put a wire listening device on the SUV. Well, of course the Wagners figured it out. They figured out, as soon as they got back in their car, they kind of, because they've obviously committed these crimes, and they're very much aware now that they're suspects, and so they're not saying a whole lot now when they're in this vehicle. So the defense's argument yesterday was that these recordings should be shown in their entirety, and not just, or that the jury should be allowed to listen to these recordings in their entirety. But unfortunately, a lot of especially the recordings of the SUV, it's just road noise, and you don't really hear what's being said until the vehicle actually stops. Then you can kind of hear George and his father talking about some different things, nothing really related to the murders. So I don't know what the relevancy of any of it was, to be honest. There were phone calls. They also had their phones, and there were phone calls that were wiretapped. There were phone calls made by both Jake and George to their uncle and some other relatives saying, don't talk to the police, don't mention anything about us. And they actually, they had visited Alaska, but they actually ended up moving to Alaska after this. About a month later, they moved to Alaska, stayed up in Alaska for a year before coming back to the area. Then they were arrested when they returned. But there was also phone calls. The one that I heard was from the people that they sold their property to. And he's like, hey, they're here investigating, and they're digging up, behind the barn. And he says, well, they need, whoever, I think it was George talking. He said, they can't be on the property unless they have a search warrant. Did you ask them if they had a search warrant? And, you can sue them for trespass. And I don't know. But anyway, they were digging up the property. If I bought a place, that happened, I'd be kind of pissed if the police showed up and started digging up my property. Anyway. So what I decided to do here, you see this stitch marker? I'm going to do just a single crochet, and then I'm going to turn my work, because I want this to have like a little opening in the front, the bed. So just from like here to here is going to be like a little opening. Now this is I'm just going to do one more single crochet and turn the work, and then we're just going to go the other direction. Oh, this should be interesting. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, we're going to go the other direction. Same stitch, and I have plenty of this yarn. This was gifted to me by Rochelle, one of my subscribers. She made a blanket out of it, and it's gorgeous yarn. And yes, I'm using it for a cat bed, because I need to keep my kitties warm. Yes, I do. Okay, so we're going to go here, skip a stitch, and then go back to where we skipped, and then just start going the other direction. This is interesting, truly interesting. So that's going to create that little opening there. I'll go all the way back around to over here. I should put the stitch marker over there, shouldn't I? So I know where to stop. I want to stop right, where is it? Yeah, right here, I believe. So we're going to put the stitch marker there. We can get it through the entire stitch, because it's a 6-weight yarn. There we go. We got the stitch marker in. Okay. So that's the Wagner case. And they're continuing to show, how did the judge rule on what the defense was asking for? And he said, no, we're not going to show the entire clips, because it would just make this trial last. It would double the length of this trial. And second of all, just sitting and listening to road noise is not relevant. So the prosecution has cut out what they believe is the irrelevant parts. The argument was that, the jury should be allowed to decide what's relevant and what's not relevant. So the defense is like, well, we'll just show them during our case in chief. And I believe the judge said, no, you won't. So we'll see how that's going to play out. Because he was arguing that, now they're being, everything that's being said is being taken out of context because you're not hearing the entire conversations. And they're probably right, but, whatever. So the next trial is the fun one. Good old Darrel Brooks representing himself. He is what is he saying? He's the third party. I don't know. He doesn't call himself Darrel Brooks. I don't know. He said he's third party, representing, I don't know, whatever. It's just this whole spiel that he goes through every time he introduces himself. And he does not recognize being called Darrel Brooks at all. I don't know what the name of his client is, the client that he's representing. So again, he started first thing this morning with the whole, when are we going to rule on subject matter jurisdiction? And I saw her yesterday. She handed him for the second time a written ruling that she made on subject matter jurisdiction. And he stood there as the jury was departing for the day and tore it up. Yeah. So Darrel Brooks is the he's the person that is accused of driving his SUV through the Waukesha Christmas parade back on November 21st last year. And the focus of the testimony yesterday was after he jumps out of his vehicle, he leaves, where we left off the day before, he had jumped out of his vehicle, left his vehicle in this guy's yard, and now he's wandering down this Elizabeth Avenue. I live on Elizabeth Avenue. It's funny. Not the same Elizabeth Avenue, but yeah, I am on Elizabeth Avenue. So, and he's just knocking on doors, asking people, can he use their phones to call an Uber? Now he's wearing a pair of jeans, a red t-shirt, no shoes, and he's shivering because it is freezing out that night or that evening. It's early evening. It's around 5 p.m., but it's already getting dark. And so the one guy that testified, he said, I saw him in the side of my yard. He says, I was outside working on my yard, and I see him at the side of my yard. And he's like, what are you doing there? And he says to the guy that, can he use his phone to call an Uber? So did he let him use his phone? I think he just told him, no, get out of here. So then he goes to another man and he meets the guy in his driveway. And he says to the guy, can I use your phone to call an Uber? So the guy lets him use his phone. And he calls his mother to call an Uber. I just want to make sure I'm going in the right hole here. This looks so cool, doesn't it? That looks really comfy. Oh, my word. Okay. So, yeah, so that guy does let him use his phone, the second guy. And he calls his mother to call an Uber. And then he leaves and he goes, this woman, she's leaving the parade. She was attending the parade with her children, and she heard an officer fire gunshots at this SUV. So she fled back towards her home and with her kids, and she sees this guy jump out of the bushes, which was Darrel Brooks, again asking, can he use her cell phone to call an Uber? She said too, he was wearing a red shirt, no shoes, and he was really shivering. That he appeared to be calling his mother to call him an Uber, and he had this sense of urgency about him. But So she also let him call his mom. Then he goes to, then we hear the testimony of a Lyft driver, because I don't think his mother knew what Uber was. I don't think she'd ever heard of Uber. Anyway, so she calls a Lyft driver. This Lyft driver says he goes out to the address she gave him. There's nobody there. And he waits for, 10 minutes or so. And he gets out, he knocks on the door, nobody answers, and so he leaves. So then Darrel goes to another house, and he says to the guy, I'm homeless, I'm freezing, can I come in and use your phone? So this guy, he was so sweet, this guy, just as vanilla as they come, this guy. He's like, yes, he says, where I come from, I'm always doing good deeds, and, I'm always helping out the homeless. So I let him in, and I made him a sandwich and gave him a coat and some slippers for his feet. And I let him use the phone. He says, but then, I start seeing cop cars go by, and he says, we don't get much police traffic in this neighborhood, so I was starting to get uncomfortable that this guy's in my house. Darrel actually lifted up his shirt before he came in. He said, look, I don't have any weapons, I'm harmless, I just need to use your phone and warm up. So he's sitting on the couch talking to his mother, not calling an Uber. So after about 10 minutes, this guy gets uncomfortable because, now he's seeing the cop cars going back and forth, and he's like, I don't know what's going on, but I'd be more comfortable if you waited for your Uber out on the porch. So he puts Darrel out on his porch, and apparently takes the coat back, or Darrel leaves the coat and the slippers. And pretty much, and the guy had a Ring camera out on his porch, so all of this is caught on video. He's standing on the porch, and there's some sort of exchange between the guy in the stand and his neighbor, and he's like, is that the guy they're looking for? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And but within a very short period of time, Darrel knocks on this guy's door again. He's waiting out on the porch, but he knocks on the guy's door and he says, hey, I forgot my ID. Can I come in and get it? And he's like, no, I'll look for it and I'll get it for you. And as he's shutting the door and going to look for Darrel's ID, the police pull up and tell Darrel, hey, put your hands up. And, so now we get switched to the body cam of the police officer, female officer. She had gotten called to go down. The call came in as, well, actually several calls, as this man going door to door on Elizabeth Avenue, asking people to use their cell phones to call an Uber. So she sees him she's walking down the street. She sees him up on the porch, and she's like, put your hands up, come forward, lay down on the ground. And he does. And she said that, you could see in the video, he's wearing jeans and a t-shirt. He puts totally cooperative. He identifies himself, says he's Darrel Brooks, not a sovereign citizen with no name, that he is Darrel Brooks, and he's arrested. And he's like, why am I being arrested? And she's like, it's for investigative purposes. She really had no idea. She did not. She knew people had been injured during the parade, but she just didn't really know what was going on at that point. There we go. Look how cool this is. This is coming out. I wanted it to fit both cats, that they could snuggle together. And I think this is going to be big enough. Stitch is a big cat, but they like to get close up. They used to. I hope they still do. Anyway. So that's what happened in the Darrel Brooks case. So, like I said, they resumed again today. More people taking the stand. I don't know. We've gotten through the arrest. They were in the middle of cross-examining. No, I'm not sure where they're at. Anyway. But again, first thing this morning, Darrel was like, can we address the matter of subject matter jurisdiction? And she's like, I'm not going there anymore. I've already issued you a written ruling. We're not talking about this anymore. Apparently, this is a tactic that people that are claiming sovereign citizenship go through, that you don't have subject matter jurisdiction over them, that the laws don't apply to them. So I don't know where he's getting his legal advice or information, but he's off. He's wrong. And she keeps telling him that. It's kind of entertaining to watch. It really is. This really feels good it feels warm on my hands. So that is what is going on in the crime world. And like I said, this day in history, I gave birth to a healthy baby boy, Ryan Schilling, who went on to have a career in the Air Force. He's retired now. He works over at the VA hospital, and he loves it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I do have to call and wish him a happy birthday. What are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing fantastic on time. So I've got to get to the post office, get this video uploaded, get my other video finished. The fun employment never ends. I will see you guys, what's today, Tuesday? In tomorrow's video, Crafting and Crime Daily. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.